Hi everyone, I'm so glad to be with you today. I've really been missing you and thinking about you all a lot. The kids have been going through our summer series called Great Big Beautiful World, and so what I thought we could do is invite all of you into that series today and bring you all along with us. And we've been talking a lot about the diversity of creation and all the beautiful things that God has made. We've talked a lot about different animals and how nature works together and helps each other. And then recently we've moved into talking about seeds and plants and growth. And last week you had a story with Miss Melissa about some seeds and soils. And we're going to continue this week talking about another story with a seed. I have another story that I'd like to share with you. And it's a short story, but I think that it has a lot for us. And this story today is a parable. Jesus told a lot of parables. It's a type of story where you bring two things and you put them side by side and look at what those two things might have to teach you. And so parables are meant to challenge us. They're not always easy. And they invite us in and they ask us to think about where we might be in that story and to think about our relationships with other people and our place in this world. And they just really ask us to open up our minds and use our imaginations. So I have a story to share with you today. This looks kind of old. It's a little scratched up, maybe. Parables are old. I wonder if this is a parable. It looks like the color gold, and parables are valuable, maybe even more valuable than gold. It has a lid. Boxes have lids, but I think parables also have a lid. Sometimes the lid is like a door and it can be hard to get into. But if that happens, try not to get discouraged and just keep coming back to the parable, and someday it will open for you. So what do you think? Should we look inside and see if this really is a parable? Can sometimes be easy to break. So let's see what we have in here that might help us get ready to tell this story. Well, it's certainly yellow. I wonder what this could be. What do you think? I wonder what this could be. Yes, it looks like the sun shining bright. And it reminds me of a lemon. Does it remind you of a lemon? Because sometimes lemons look like they're kind of pinched on the sides. And I asked some of my other friends for ideas of what they thought this might be. And they thought that it might be a hexagon or target that you might shoot an arrow towards, or an arena. They had some really great ideas. Let's see if there's anything else that might help us get ready. I think that's it. So let's tell our story. There was once someone who said such wonderful things and did such amazing things that people began to follow him. And as they followed him, they heard him talking about a kingdom. But it was confusing because it wasn't like the kingdom they lived in. And it wasn't even like any kingdom that they could even imagine. And so they couldn't help it. They just had to ask him, what is this kingdom like? And so one time when they asked him, he said, the kingdom of God is like a mustard seed. A tiny mustard seed. And if I were to have one on my finger right now, it's so tiny it would be really hard for you to see it. And someone planted that seed. And it began to grow. 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 And grow. And that tiny seed grew so big into a tree that the birds of the air came down and began to make nests in the branches. Let's take a look at this tiny mustard seed. Can you see it? It's so small right here in the middle of the blue circle. Now, when the seed is just sitting here, or if I were holding one, what can I do with it? Can I kick it around like a soccer ball or play with it? Could I hug it and take it for a walk like a pet? Could I wear it for a hat? I don't really know what to do with this seed other than to plant it. And when we do, it begins to grow. Things begin to happen. Just like last week with Miss Tracy, when you prepared your beans for growth and sprouting, things began to happen. And mustard seeds don't grow into very tall trees. There are some different types of them, but they're actually just smaller bushes and shrubs. Maybe not much taller than a grown-up, some of them are. But they're still big enough to provide branches for the birds. Jesus said the birds of the air come and they rest on the branches. So from that small seed, look at what was able to happen. Mustard seeds and mustard plants are helpful in a lot of ways. So not only can the birds come and rest, but they can find shade, and parts of the plant you can eat. Some of the seeds, depending on what type, you can grind them up and make different spices and flavorings, and some plants give us what we use as mustard on our hamburgers and hot dogs, and animals can eat the leaves, and you can even use parts of the plant for medicines and oils and toothaches and coughs and all kinds of things that people have figured out how to use mustard seed, and all of that goodness came from just that tiny little seed. I wonder if you have ever felt like this seed. Have you ever felt small? Think of all the goodness that came from this one tiny seed. All the life and goodness was already inside. And this particular seed is made to be a mustard tree. You are made to be part of God's kingdom. And when this seed grows into a tree, that's not the end. It continues to give life. It brings healing and nourishment and rest and shade. It is for everyone, and that is like God's kingdom. God's kingdom is the world as it should be, when love is in charge. And we are part of God's kingdom. Our listening ears and our listening hearts can bring healing to people. And our helping hands can help feed and comfort people. And when we welcome people in and we invite them, we're giving them rest and we're saying, you belong here. You can rest and you can be yourself. All of these things matter in God's kingdom. It matters when you pack bags for food for thought. It matters when you draw encouraging notes and pictures and sidewalk chalk for your neighbors to see as they walk by. It matters when you care for animals and for creation. And it matters when you are polite and friendly to your grocery store clerk, or you wave and say thank you to your trash truck crew for their hard work. So, where are you in this story? Are you the seed? Are you the person who planted the seed? Are you the tree? Or perhaps the birds? I don't know. That's for you to ponder. I have a couple things that I would like for you to do. First, if you picked up one of our July kits this week, you have a container inside that has mustard seeds. You can also get this type of mustard seed at the grocery store. I'd like for you to take one, put it in your hand, and just spend a moment examining it. You can roll it around and feel it and just notice the size of the seed in your hand. And the other thing that I would like for you to do is to spend some time this week paying close attention to a tree or a plant that is nearby. It's probably right in your backyard or out your window that you can see while you're eating breakfast. And notice what's happening around that tree. There might be squirrels playing in it. I love looking out our kitchen window and watching the squirrels chase each other through the trees, and they make me laugh. There might be bees landing on the tree. You may even see a nest. If you're outside playing, you might find yourself under the tree getting some shade on a hot day, or you might even have a swing attached if you have a sturdy branch. So just spend some time noticing that, and all of those things that you're noticing came from one tiny seed. And you have that same power to make a difference and to show God's kingdom and to show God's love to everyone around you.